Hey, Carpal Tunnies!
Carpal Tunnies!
Welcome to another episode. I think this is episode 6 of the Carpal Tunnel Diaries. We've made it. 6 episodes. Almost a week's worth of episodes.
Wow.
And today for you guys, we have a very special, somewhat somber episode. So our friend Bianca has been in this relationship / seeing this one boy on and off now for about 6 months. And after a long and hard process, she decided to end things with him. And the two of us haven't even talked about this yet. This is our first conversation. And we just wanted to include you guys on it so you guys could see how we talk about these kind of things together. So Bianca, what the hell happened?
So, I don't know, you guys, we haven't really kept you updated on this, but I've been seeing this guy that goes against everything we've talked about. It was not fulfilling any of my needs. The ROI was weak, like all bad signs, but it's hard to end things with someone that you think you have a connection with. But basically, I was going out with this skater. And as Ali Wong says, skaters are sexy on the outside, malt liquor on the inside. And after months of me thinking that I was crazy, I was anxious all the time, I was having a hard time standing up for myself until I actually got into a car accident. And I texted him being like, someone rear-ended me, which was actually a lie because I rear-ended someone, but I didn't feel comfortable telling him that I rear-ended someone, which is a red flag. Like, if you can't tell someone a car accident is your fault, you don't trust that person. B, after I told him that the car accident was the other person's fault, after I lied, he went, how slow were you driving? Which, okay, kind of a funny joke, but also made me realize that, like, this is not someone that I can trust in any capacity. My other friends called me after, offered to pick me up places. They just, they showed that they cared. He did ask if I was okay, but it was a lot of bad jokes and not at all concerned. And obviously I understood that he was probably just joking, but I kind of realized that if someone cares about you and you tell them you got into a big car accident, they're just going to have more of like a compassionate reaction. So that was kind of my last straw. So I called him. I was like, hey, can I give you a ring? And he was like, a real ring? And I was like, no, like a call. And then he was like, are you going to be dramatic? And I was like, no, I'm not going to be dramatic.
What the fuck? Why would he even assume that you were going to be dramatic? Are you dramatic?
I give him credit that he does know me. But in my defense, it wasn't dramatic because it was pretty clear. So I kind of just walked him through how I felt. I was like, you canceled a hang on me so you could go get a tattoo. That's
pretty sick. That's woke as fuck.
Yeah. I mean, he's a hard cookie to crack. He definitely, like, in the beginning gave me all the love and compassion, but...
Is that true? Did he give you all the love and compassion?
No, but he was definitely validating in some way.
Okay.
He actually never gave me any love or compassion. He was also...
I know, that's why...
I bought him dinner a few times. He was scammed out of a lot of his money, so I let him stay with me for, like, Carpal Tunnies. Let me not even go into the things I did for this stupid man. Anyways, I was essentially like, yeah, I'm not happy with how things are going. He's like, what's wrong with how things are going? And I was like, I don't like it. And he was like, well, then maybe we should stop. And I was like, exactly. And, since then, one thing that I did that I was proud of myself was I soft blocked him. For those of you that don't know, it's where you block and unblock, so you're just not following each other.
Do you mean you muted him? What's a soft block?
So soft blocking Carpal Tunnies, and this is for a later episode on the validity of it.
This is for me too. I am learning.
Yeah,
I also know what a soft block is.
Basically, you want to unfollow someone, but you also don't want them to follow you. You just kind of want to be like, we are not a part of each other's lives, but you don't want to block them. So how you soft block someone is you literally block them and then immediately unblock them. And that makes it so that neither of you are following each other. And I consulted my friends before I did this.
Oh,
and
interesting.
I didn't do this for attention. It's actually the nicest thing you can do in terms of it doesn't really call any attention because you're not following them, but it's also like they're not following you. So it's not really like a look at this attention cry. It's kind of like I don't want to have to post a story and wonder if you're looking at it, and I don't want to have to look at your stories. It's kind of like me sort of saying, I'm over this. And Carpal Tunnies, me and the skater have broken up before and gotten back together. So it was kind of my way of saying it's done, which I was proud of because, you know, you kind of can't go back from that. He has sent me a couple memes since. I have not responded, which is big for me.
Is this blocking, unblocking a Instagram tactic, or can you use it on other mediums also?
I think maybe Twitter. Yeah, like Instagram and Twitter, it's a good tactic for if, I think it's the least dramatic. I mean, obviously the least dramatic would be to just mute them. But like,
right, which is what I'm.
Boy. Right, but you know, he was also like obsessed with his following, and I didn't really want to deal with him unfollowing me, and I didn't want to, you know what I mean? Like, I didn't want to make it a thing. I was really just trying to close it, and I think when you're dating someone that I met him off of Tinder, when you're dating someone that you meet online and you don't know that well outside of meeting them online, or almost in any relationship in 2019, it's kind of virtual. Like, you know, you are kind of following them and you're kind of wondering how they're doing on social media. And I didn't really want to have that. I was really trying to be like, we are not a part of each other's lives anymore. And it was also my way of saying I'm done, because I didn't really want it to be that, you know, last time we broke up a few months ago, he was able to DM me and I responded and then he texted me. I didn't want to keep the door open for him coming back. And it was my way of kind of saying this is done.
So
he still DM'd me a couple times, and it's been really hard not to say anything because I really liked him, I think. Although, according to a good friend of the pod, he was my fourth choice. So who's going to miss their fourth choice? I don't know.
So I've heard your guys' whole situation from the beginning, and you never really seemed all that sure with what you wanted, with what he wanted, with how you even felt about it. So all in all, those were great signs for a healthy relationship. And on top of that, I'm not sure that the way that you guys communicated to each other was healthy, and it just kept on like winding you down over time. And I think that's what led to you finally being done with it.
I was sending Joel texts during work, during meetings, being like, where is he? I haven't heard from him in days. Like, he sent me a meme that makes no sense. And I think one piece of advice I have is, I mean, I'm recently 24, but basically, if someone's not making you happy, I mean, obviously you want to give things a chance, but if someone is making you not happy and you're putting up with things and you think it's because it's how it has to be, you can let go of someone.
Well, I think that before even letting go, though, there's other things that you can do. Like, I think initially you have to communicate the things that are making you unhappy. I think that is step one. And that is honestly almost harder than just ending it
100%.
in many instances. Yeah.
But if someone is making it so that, like, in this situation, they were making it so that my needs were starting to feel like burdens, or that anything I wanted was starting to feel like I didn't feel like I could express my needs. Okay, we have been going out for 6 months, 5.5 months, and sometimes I wouldn't hear from him for 3 days. Obviously, that's okay, but like I feel like after you've been seeing someone for 5.5 months, almost multiple times a week, you can kind of be like, hey, can we like talk every other day? I really don't think it's that needy, but he was making me feel really, really needy, and I'm really not that needy, and things like that where someone's making it seem like your needs are so crazy. I mean, obviously you want to evaluate, are they crazy? Because sometimes they are. But if they're not, and you have faith that they're not, you kind of have to have the courage to be like, this is not working.
Totally.
So, yeah, I don't know. It was really hard. And Joel obviously really encouraged me to do it. I had a lot of other really good friends. It's not easy to break up with someone, but it just happened. It's been less than a week, so you guys were getting it fresh.
Right. You've also been technically trying to end it because you realized everything that you just said a while ago. So it's not like it just happened because of the car accident or something. There were things that have been leading up to it ending. And even from the beginning, it didn't seem like it was going in a healthy spot. To give some context, initially, this guy told Bianca that he wanted a relationship, and she thought that was too soon for her to make that decision, which is completely fair. And then the more they started hanging out, the more the roles sort of changed. So she wanted that relationship a little bit more, whereas he was being more like standoffish towards that idea, which really bothered you, didn't it?
Yeah, I think also, like, when he expressed wanting a relationship to me, I was still kind about it. I was nice, and I didn't make him feel stupid about it. But I feel like the more I started wanting more, and it wasn't even necessarily a relationship initially, it was just, like, a little bit more commitment, it got so that he was having a really hard time even showing me, like, day-to-day respect. I don't know if that makes any sense. But
totally.
Basically, what I've learned from it, which I hope some of you can, is that it's really important to stand up for yourself. It's really normal for someone to make you feel like you deserve to be treated a certain way. Obviously, there's always going to be someone who likes someone else in a relationship, and early on, I think that that's normal and okay. But I do think that eventually, if someone's not giving you what you want, and you haven't been together that long, don't waste your time, because there's a lot of people out there.
I'm going through the text with you about this guy, and for every day, except for 1 or 2 days, for literally a week, you would say, okay, I'm with blank, I need to break up with him, help. Or, how do I break up with blank? I need to break up with blank. We haven't hung out in over a week.
So, guys, I was crazy. This is so, I was literally, it was driving me insane.
I feel like blank just dumped me via text. Never mind.
Oh, yeah. So Joel at one point was like, yeah, this is not healthy. So I was like, I don't know what's going on. But I think this is a thing that happens to girls a lot, where they think they have to stay with someone because they think it's the only person they can get, or someone's giving them some attention, and they think that they don't want to end things because they feel like if they end it, they think that they're being crazy, or that the other person is probably being normal and they're being sensitive.
Yeah.
Which is why I kept it going on for so long, because A, I thought things were going to change, and B, I thought maybe I was the one that was being hard on myself. And, like, while I've been really sad, I feel so much better.
Yeah.
So much better.
It's kind of a weight off your shoulders, right?
Yeah. His problems are no longer my problem. It's not my problem that he can't commit to plans. It's not my problem that he's all malt liquor on the inside. His problem's not my problem.
Yeah.
So I think the hardest part is that, when he reaches out, or if he continues to reach out, which I kind of hope he doesn't do. I mean, I kind of hope he does because it's flattering. Just like
don't expect that. Don't expect that.
Yeah.
I think that if either one of you reaches out, it should be you if you change your mind. But honestly, you just need to focus on yourself and
100%.
try to
and I've already
get the toxicity,
really
the toxicity of this. I wouldn't even call it a relationship.
Yeah, that was what was so weird about also ending it, is ending like a relationship that's not with someone that's your significant other. So obviously if you're breaking up with your boyfriend or your girlfriend, it's like, okay, well, we're breaking up. But this was also weird because I was like, I want to stop doing this, which in some ways, I could have ghosted him. I could have just had us not text each other. But because we weren't technically in a relationship, but it had been over 5 months. So I was like, no, I'm going to call you out on your behavior. And I also think that, one thing I told him that I also would recommend is it's like, if it doesn't feel casual, it's probably not casual.
Yeah.
I recognized that the situation was not casual on either end, but that we were not in a relationship. So it made things a little bit weird in terms of ending it. But it's kind of like, look, it's not casual, but the other person is pressing you to make it casual. It's okay to say something and call them out, because I feel like there can be like a shame associated with acting like something isn't casual. But I think part of being an adult is also acknowledging that it's not, or being like, I don't want this, or I'm looking for something more serious.
Yeah, I just found another couple text messages that I think would be funny for me to bring up. You said,
go ahead, do it, whatever.
This is a week before those last text messages that I read. A week. You said, I feel like blank is trying to end things. You're probably
God.
damn, Bianca, stop. I said, why do you feel like that? You go, because we haven't had a conversation in a week. And I'm bored of the whole thing, and I'm guessing he is too. Just wish I had ended it a week ago. I say, just end it now. Say it's not working. This is hella unhealthy. Sorry for the NorCal slang, giving away a little bit of my origins. And then you say, yeah, so toxic. And I said, you need to get out.
Right, no, I know. Okay, our pattern
2 weeks
was
later, did you
out.
actually 2 weeks later, did you actually get out of it?
Yeah, it's hard work. When you're in a toxic
work.
relationship, you think it's going to change. You think they're going to get better. Also, our pattern was Monday through Thursday, we would be on great terms. Like, we would hang out like a couple times a week, maybe even 3 times a week. And then he worked on weekends. Then from like Thursday to Monday, I just wouldn't hear from him. And maybe I'd get a meme, maybe. And we'd make plans. And he'd act like we hadn't made them. I'd be like, oh, do you still want to do this? And he'd be like, oh, yeah, I forgot. And I was just like, wow, you know what I mean? Like, it was like every week. It was just getting kind of disrespectful, honestly. And I was like, I can't do this. It was bad, but it's over.
But no one's asking him to put you on the pedestal and put you as his number one priority. But at least remember plans you guys make together, you know? Like, that's not...
Or the way I put it was, you can't have the perks of a relationship if you're not going to put in some of the harder parts, you know?
Right.
So if you want to text me when you're feeling sad or when you need something from me, but you're not going to give me anything, that's you getting the perks of a relationship without you getting any of, some of the compromises. I think I feel good about my decision. I think a lot of people thought I wasn't actually going to go through with it, but look at that. I did.
It took you a long time, but I'm sure that all your friends are proud of you and appreciate what you did and know how hard it was for you and love you and support you, and you're going to get through it.
Yeah, and now I can move on, and it feels
Totally.
good.
That's
so
awesome.
Yeah, guys, that's my little story. That's a personal narrative. I wanted to talk about it on the podcast about dating, and also is one of the reasons that me and Joel decided to start the podcast was because he was going through a breakup, and I was in the middle of this toxic friendship. Like,
you were just
friends
starting out. You were like a month, so less than that.
Yeah, we were starting. Well, we've been more than a month in because, basically, I had called you about him when we talked about it for an hour and you were going through your own stuff, and that's when we were like, we need a podcast. This is too much. We need to commodify this conversation.
Wasn't it about the carpal tunnel? The carpal tunnel joke, isn't that how we started?
Well, that's when you and I reconnected and started talking more, but we decided to have a pod a month later-ish, like a few weeks later was when I talked to you about him. I had a few other guys in the mix, but this is the one that...
spicy.
Yeah, look, if you're a girl, there are always more guys, and that's something to be aware of. Like, if you're a guy, there's always more girls.
In the sea, but not necessarily in your sea.
Right, but in a sea, there are a lot of people out there.
An AC. Yep,
an AC. Correct. All right, carpal tunnies. If you have any questions on how to break up with your hookup, on how to go through with a breakup, send us an email.
Or on any other topic. We love questions. We love questions. We love letters from our fans. Email us.
We have gotten 0.
That is not true. We have gotten
That's,
a few.
Just kidding.
We love
Great.
going through them. We love talking with them amongst ourselves. Maybe in the future we will do an episode answering your questions if we get enough really insightful and cool ones. So please subscribe, comment, like, share, whatever else you guys do. We would greatly appreciate it. And yeah, thank you guys.
Yeah, thanks for listening. See you next week.
Bye.